Hey, 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 welcome to the Vent Live. We are back. We are excited. We are like looking forward because one, it's 2025 now. We have not been together since 2024. So we're excited to be with you for a new year. We're excited to start off a new series, a new month. There's so many new things starting. So we're excited to be able to do that in community. We know that healing takes place in community. We know that growth takes place in community. We know that being part of community just propels us into spaces that we could not. And we probably could get there, but couldn't get there at the same pace, couldn't get there with the same consistency, couldn't get there with the same amount of support without community. So, one, we're excited for community. We're grateful that our community is continuing to grow, continuing to stay connected. And we are excited because 2025 is open to so many possibilities. So welcome to the Vent. If you have never been to the Vent, if you this is your first time in, we want to welcome you. We want to let you know that the Vent is a safe space to speak. So while you may see me on screen, this is a community conversation. So come in, talk, be a part of the conversation, drop some gems on us, give us some advice, give us something, whether it's from your personal experience, from conversations and things that you've had with other people. But our goal is to create this conversation from different perspectives, different walks of life, different aspects, so that we get a full picture, right? So if it's just one person, that's great, right? But when there are many voices, we often can get a much more and a richer experience because we have all of these voices joining in and revealing bigger parts of the great picture. So welcome into the Vent. We are happy to say that we are going strong. We are in season 4 and we are on episode 33. How about that? We're excited. I don't know, maybe it's 2025. Should this be season 5 now? I don't know. Either way, we're excited and we are looking forward to stepping into 2025. Many people have made resolutions or have decided to participate in starting new habits. Our big thing is we always want you to know that no matter what journey you are embracing or embarking on, you have people walking alongside of you. So know that you're not alone, know that you have community, and know that you don't have to walk in isolation. So with that all being said, welcome, come on in, take a seat, grab your tea, your water, your drink, grab whatever you have, and know that you are in here to bring something, to take something away. So do what you need to do and do it with us. So season 4, episode 33, our series this month in January 2025. One of the things we really want to look at is unstuck and unstoppable. What does that mean? We are letting go of old habits. We are looking forward to the possibilities of what can happen from a emotional, spiritual, but also a very practical standpoint. So many times, like we said, we make vision boards and dream boards, and we have these parties and we come together and we do it, and it's cute and it's on the wall and it's amazing and it's great and all these things. Y'all, I'm looking for my phone. Kristen helping me look for my phone because that's how I interact with people on Instagram, but I can't find my phone right now. So if you hear some movement, that's what's going on with us right now. I have no idea where my phone is. I hope I'm not sitting on it. Oh, I got it. Thank you, boo. So that's why you need community, right? Because sometimes you lose your phone and your child helps you find it, right? Can't do it alone. I can't be here and there. We're fine. You want $5 out of the budget? Okay, we'll work on that. So here's the thing. When we look at community, another thing that we want to look at is knowing that accountability is found in community, encouragement is found in community. So as we look at being unstuck and unstoppable, as we embrace new things, like January, the gyms are full, people are everywhere. People are eating better, they're drinking their water, minding their business, they're doing all these things. And then something happens around like February. Some people March, you go strong first quarter, but we kind of slack off, or we do well through the first half of the year, and then June, July, summer comes, we start taking vacations, and the diet is done, the budget is blown, and we get stuck. Some of us, sometimes all of us have things, right? And sometimes we get stuck in these patterns, we get stuck in things that we used to do. And let me say this, it's not always something, I would say, negative. Like, it's not like always like, oh, I'm supposed to eat clean and now I'm eating fried chicken. Sometimes it's like, I'm doing well with my eating, or I'm doing well with my budgeting, but I could do better, right? So some of us are, our stagnation is not that I was doing something good and then I fell off because I was doing something bad. Sometimes we're stagnant because we're doing well and we're kind of stuck here at like, oh, well, this is acceptable. This is good enough. This is okay, when we really could step it up to a higher height. One thing, I preached Sunday in Portsmouth, and one of the things that God was saying was they're exceeding expectations. So there's some expectations we set for ourselves, and when we get to it, it's like, oh, this is good. And sometimes we're being called, we're being pushed. We know that where we are is good, but there is something better, something greater. So we don't want to get stuck in good when there really is better and best out there. Does that make sense? Because I don't want it all to be negative. It's not always negative. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, you're doing good, but you could do better. And that's all of us. Like, I'm not saying you, I'm saying me. I'm looking at the screen and myself too. Like, you doing good, but you could step it up a notch, right? So we even want to challenge people who are like, oh yeah, I'm doing well. Like, yeah, you're doing well, but what else can you do? How much further can you take it? How many more people can you serve? How many more people can you impact? How much more money can you save? How, like, it's like, okay, yeah, you good, but what else could you do? How much more volume could you produce? So it is, how much more can you sharpen that skill versus, oh, I'm good. It's like, okay, yeah, you good, and good can be great. It can be better. It can be best. It could be amazing. It could be all these things. And we don't want to get stuck in, here it is, mediocrity. You don't want to get stuck in, I'm doing better than them, or I'm doing better than where I was. While we recognize that, and that's a milestone, if better than them is your benchmark, it still doesn't mean that that's where you're supposed to be. It just means that you're better than them, and that's it. Or if better than last year is okay, but it's still not where you're supposed to be, you're still not right. Right? Because right is not I'm better than. Right is I'm in the right direction. Right is, I can't use right in the definition, right? Right is I'm in the correct place. Right is I'm in the correct place at the correct time. Right is, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm supposed to be doing at this time right now in this space, versus, well, this is better than what it was. No, we want to be in the right place at the right time, around the right people, as much as possible. And let me be clear, we won't always get it right, but we should be striving not to be better than other people, not even to be better than where we were before, but we should be striving to be in the right place at the right time, and striving to do better, and not just settling for mediocrity, settling for this is okay, not settling for good, not settling for good enough, but really reaching for what we really deserve and what we really can have. So we want to get, well, by unstuck, we mean not stuck in patterns of, well, it's better than, or unstuck is not stuck in, I'll just accept this, right? I'll just accept this. Yeah. So Miss Tracy Mingalee said that's so true. How do you overcome the fear of failure? Here's how you this is one, and if anybody else wants to tap into this also, please share as well. And hey, Miss Tracy, so she said, how do you overcome the fear of failure? One, and we're gonna get into this more in depth, but one thing is planning. So okay, I am afraid of, some of us, who is the I can't even think of the name of the poet, but we're not, what we really are afraid of is being like great beyond what we could ever think. Like, we're often not afraid of the failure. Some of us are afraid of, what if this really takes off? So I think the failure part is big, because it does come with some shame. It can come with some embarrassment. It can come with some disappointment. But I think we overcome the fear of failure by taking a tiny step towards what we want. So if I'm afraid that I'm going to fail at, let's say I want to buy a house. I'm afraid that maybe my credit score isn't there. I don't make enough money. I get outbid for a house, right? So I overcome that fear by preparing. Okay, how do I prepare for that? Let me talk to somebody. Let me just talk to a real estate agent. Or maybe I don't want to talk to a realtor. Let me talk to a mortgage advisor, right? I'm going to talk to somebody who does mortgage loans. I'm going to see what the process looks like. I'm going to compare it to where I am. And I'll start taking small steps to get to where I need to be. I'm afraid of the whole process, but I can start taking one step. I want to lose 100 pounds, right? I'm not going to lose 100 pounds by tomorrow. I'm afraid that once I start, the diet will fall off or the consistency will fall off. So what I do is I'm going to start by setting a small goal. I'm going to shoot for 2 pounds this week. Once I get to 2 pounds, I might move it up. Or I say I'm going to consistently do 2 pounds every week by drinking more water, like breaking it down step by step. I'm drink more water. I'm going to cut fried food out. And for some of us, that might be too much at one time. I'm going to start off drinking more water. Then next week, I'm going to drink more water and I'm going to cut out food. Or then next month, I'm going to drink more water and I'm going to cut out sweets, right? So I'm adding one step at a time. So that was a great question, because that's one of our things when we get into these patterns, because we're so used to certain things. So the fear is in, what if I try this and it doesn't work? But what we're encouraging you to do, be unstuck by trying something different or trying something new or pushing yourself towards something. But don't try to say, oh, I'm going to lose 20 pounds by tomorrow. It's like, no. Lose 20 pounds, but make it into some type of time frame that is actually something that you're able to accomplish, reasonably accomplish, right? Her other question, Miss Tracy Mingley said, what about when Paul said to be content in all things? That is that different than mediocre? Yes, I think what Paul, in that context, being content is, no matter if I'm up or down, it's content in a sense of not complacency, but okay, this is a moment where everything is not going right. However, I still have peace. However, I still know that there's more, even if right now it's not the best moment of my life or the brightest moment of my life, or I'm still short on some things. I'm still trying to figure out some things. I'm not going to let that rock the boat of the possibilities of what could be, right? Whether I'm a bound or a base, whether I'm up or down, whether things are great or they're bad, I'm content knowing that I'm going to be good regardless. I'm good. My needs will be met. I will be at peace. I'm not going to have anxiety about it. I'm not going to throw in the towel, right? I'm not going, either way, I'm good. Not like, oh, well, I'm down, so I'm just going to be down. I just got to accept it. It's more of, I'm down, right? And I'm content with where I am, knowing that there is more, knowing that this is not the end. This is part of the process. I hope that makes sense. So no matter whether I find myself on the mountaintop or whether I find myself in the valley, I'm going to be good, right? Because I know who I am, whose I am, I'm going to be good. So different from complacency, contentment is, I know I'm going to be good regardless, but this is not my ceiling. So this is not where I cap, but I'm going to be good in this space. And I'm going to work this mountain and I'm going to work that valley. No matter where I find myself, I'm not throwing in the towel or settling. I'm going to be content in whatever that surrounding looks like at that time. I hope that helps, Miss Tracy. And again, if anybody else wants to chime in, this is a community conversation. Please chime in. Hey, Cortasia, this is a community conversation, so please chime in, because we love to hear from you, and we love for people to bring in their life experiences and their wisdom, because we really do value that in community. So we want to talk about breaking the cycle and breaking cycles and breaking out of habits. And many of us, sometimes we get these good things and then we plateau. Speaking of weight, I just spoke about weight, but one of the things, like I was just talking to one of my friends, I was like, man, I had over like 2 years or something, I lost like 20 pounds because I gained weight during the pandemic, being home, cooking, eating all day. Then I lost 20 pounds, right? And then I gained back 10 pounds. So now I'm like, okay, I gotta stay consistent, because when I was consistent, I was doing well. But then when I fell off, I gained weight back, right? So I have to figure out how to get out of that cycle, because I do that a lot of, when it comes with weight, I do that a lot of, I get it up and then I come back down, then I get and I'm all over the place. So I'm working on the consistent. That's just me being open with y'all. I'm working on the consistency. That's one of the areas of consistency I'm working on, because when I go in, I go hard. No, it's never too many questions, Ms. Trey. This is conversational, so we want you to talk. We want you to share. We want the conversation pieces. It be like that. It be like that conversation. I'm like, look, we gonna get it together though. We gonna get it together. So one of the big things that we want to look at is just two big things. So the first part we want to look at of being unstoppable. This whole talk tonight is breaking free. So we're breaking free from cycles. We're breaking free from certain mindsets. We want to break free from the opinions of others. We want to break free from mediocrity. We want to break free from settling. We want to break free from accepting below what we, because I think it is a difference. So settling is one thing, like, oh, I just take this. I think accepting what's put before us is different. Like, oh, well, this is good, right? So settling is a choice of, well, I'm just gonna stay here because this is cool. I think accepting what people give you is separate, because it's like, oh, sure, I take it, right? Like, there are some moments when we have to decide not to settle with people, places, things, because I deserve more. And there are other moments. This is the difference for me. I want to hear from y'all too. The other moment is I'm deciding not to accept what you want to give me. So it's not really my decision, but it's me deciding yes or no to you versus what I'm willing to settle for. I hope that makes sense. But those are two different things for me, because I'm actively making a choice to say, you know what, I analyze this. Yeah, we can stay together. Versus you trying to give me something and I'm gonna be like, nah, that's close, but that's not what I want. So we want to even make the distinction between those two things, so we're not letting something come in temporarily when there's something better that we should have. Because that's a big thing in jobs, in places that you want to live, in friendships, in relationships with partners, across, in cars. I mean, like anything, like you don't have to accept second best or close enough. You really can get what you actually really want. So how do we do that? Right? We want to hop into how do we do that? First, the first part, and this is for like so in so many different sectors. The first part is honestly realizing, what is it that's in your way? So what is stopping you? If you could think, and you could put this in the comments or not. Hey Annie, you can put this in the comments or not. Like, when you think about being stuck, when you think about wanting to be unstoppable, when you think about living like free from all of that in a very practical way, what's in your way? So is it mindset? Is it surrounding? Is it bad habits? Is it decisions that we make sometimes? Is it, and this is what I'm talking about, is it like, I do good with money until the summer comes, right? So I'm good. My budget is straight. Then summer come, I'm on the island. I'm over here. I'm booking hotels and the budget is blown, right? It's like I do good until, or is it that as long as I'm home and I can prepackage my food and I got time to do that, I'm good. But as soon as I go out, or as soon as I'm around different people and I smell their food, I see what they order, and then I start ordering that. It could be discipline, like our lack of discipline. I was talking to one of my friends earlier today, and I was like, we were talking about rest. If anybody knows me, you know I'm a big proponent of rest. You need to rest. I don't care what nobody say. You are not lazy. You are not less than. You are not weak. Your body literally, biologically, mentally, emotionally, physically needs rest. So I am that friend. I told him, I said, I've been telling you for 10 years you need to rest. Literally, I've been telling him for 10 years you need to rest. Right? And his thing was like, I don't know how to. And he feels guilty for it. And I'm like, mindset, right? And somebody actually said that Miss Tracy Mingalee said it's her, she gets in her own way. And that is so much me too. Like, you are not alone. I don't want you to think I'm calling you out, right? Quantasia said most of them, I be in my own way. When I'm focused and consistent, I'm unstoppable. And that's the thing. When you're zoned in and you focus, like laser focus, nothing can stop you. Miss Tracy, mindset and discipline are probably, if all of us could raise our hands for that, that would probably be the top thing. Like, we could say people, we could say situations, but those things are always going to happen. There are always going to be people around you. Situations are always going to change, whether it be family, whether it be the weather, whether it be our government and all that's going on in that, whether it be the prices of groceries, whether it be the gym, whether it be the weather. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, people are always going to exist. Circumstances are always going to exist. We talked about that scripture. Things are always going to change. Like, sometimes you can be on top of the world. Sometimes you're going to feel like the world is on top of you. Right. But the thing is, once we identify what is stopping us, Quantasia also said fear, yes. And that's something that Miss Tracy Mingali mentioned as well. Like, that fear of, whether it be the fear of failure, whether it be the fear of what if something happens, whether it be the fear of what other people may think or may do, because many of us do things just looking at who's on. Many of you do things that are outside of the box and that may be different than what your family has done before, what people around you in your city or in your area have done. So when you make certain decisions, it's like, I don't know what my mama gonna say, I don't know what my aunt gonna say, I don't know what my cousin gonna say, I don't know what my friend gonna say, because this is so left field for what some other people may think, but it's what you're supposed to do. But when we focus and we have that, excuse me, and we have that consistency, that is when we can, whatever tries to be in our way, we can push it out and we can overcome it. It ain't always easy. We can be honest. Like, it's hard. Sometimes I'm like, man, I want to eat this or I want to do this, but consistency and my journey reminds me you could do that, but is it really worth it? Right? Is it really worth it to get off track? Is it really worth it after all this hard work you put in? Is it really worth it? Right? Self-care. And Donald said self-care is not selfish. That is so true, y'all. We're gonna be back with the Vent Nightcap on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. And the Vent Nightcap is all about self-care, practical ways to take care of yourself mentally, spiritually. I don't know, is this a shameless plug? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Because contrary to popular belief, contrary to what society and culture and capitalism tries to tell us, self-care is actually a necessity. Like, you need to take care of yourself, and not self-maintenance, self-care. Really caring for you, taking time to breathe, to break, to dump, to vent. All those things are necessary for you, like cognitively, right? I'm not gonna get on my soapbox, but those things are those things are a necessity, not a luxury, and not something that you can just put off to the side, right? I ain't gonna go deep into it because I like I said, a lot of us have families, we have ministries, we have all these things, but we got to take care of ourselves as well. Ms. Tracy Mingali said that's a learned lesson. Responding to Donald, self-care when you are used to caring for others, but when it's done, it's a beautiful feeling of worthiness. Absolutely. And it's a thank you to your body. Your body does a lot for you, so the least you can do is say thank you by caring for it. But definitely, like you said, Donald, it's easier said than done. However, and we're gonna get into this, when you determine what's in your way, that's the first step. So what's in your way? And even taking time to analyze it, to write it down. We start with the awareness. Okay, this is what's in my way. It's the fear, it's the lack of discipline, it's the lack of self-care, it is me, right? Getting in my head, overthinking, over analyzing, being hesitant about doing certain things that I know I need to do. That's what's in my way. So that's the first step. And then after that, I ain't gonna be funny, we don't have a lot tonight. It's not real deep. It's just like basic, but it's a good, I feel like for me at least, it's a good reminder of what can help us. So the other part of that is, once you recognize what's in your way, like, okay, this is what's in my way. For me, it is me. It's a lack of discipline in some spaces, right? Embrace the power of consistency. And as we talk about consistency, same thing like we talked about before. Consistency is not for the next 6 months, I'm going to do this. That is a great goal. Don't get me wrong. But if you're starting up and you're trying to break a cycle, there are some moments when you really do have to plan. Like, okay, you can say, I'm going to do this for 6 months, but it may be a good idea. Habits form, and it's a book. I can't think of the name of the book, but habits form over a 21-day period. So you do something for 21 days, it literally becomes part of your routine. So I'm going to start off with something attainable, SMART goals, right? This is an attainable goal. It's specific, it's measurable. It meets all these criteria. It has a time restraint on it. It has all these goals so that I'm able to accomplish it without extra anxiety or pressure, right? So my specific goal, I'm going to eat better. Nope. I'm going to, here's mine. I'm going to use a real life example. This is me. I'm only going to eat meat twice a week. Right? So I'm only going to eat meat twice a week. And I got on myself today because that poor planning. I ate meat yesterday and then I had meat today. So I can't have more meat this week. Right? It's not funny. It's real. I'm for real because I'm y'all pray for me. So here's the thing. If I was better with planning, I would have actually planned the days that I'll eat meat instead of having them Monday, Tuesday. It would have been something like Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday are the days, right? But when we look at consistency is I'm going to try this for 21 days. Then I'm going to extend it for 40 days. And then I'm going to do it for 3 months, whatever that looks like for you. For somebody else, it may be, hey, I want to take quiet time in the morning. So this week, for the next 7 days, right, I'm going to set my alarm for 5 a.m., for 6 a.m., for 7 a.m., whatever. And from 6 a.m. to 6:15 is quiet time. I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm listening. For somebody else, it may be, maybe I don't have a time restraint, a sense of time of the day, but amount of time. So for at least 15 minutes a day, I'm going to try to I'm going to read a part of a new book. So some days that may be 15 minutes in the morning, it may be 15 minutes in the afternoon, in the evening. It may vary, but your time is 15 minutes. Now I know on my iPhone, like if I get a book on my phone, it'll tell me, hey, you reach your goal of X amount of minutes. So you put things in place. And why am I saying this? Because consistency requires planning. Like you can't be consistent without trying. It's hard. You can, but it's harder when you're striving towards a goal to be consistent when you don't have a plan, right? I was talking to somebody earlier today. We're doing this church-wide fast, right? And my friend was like, why you ain't hungry like the rest of us? I was like, because I planned. I packed my meal. I had my fruit. I had my veggies. I'm not going to be sitting up in here hungry with y'all, right? I got things that I need to do. So I packed. I planned, right? And if I pack my meal at night, if I cut up my fruit at night, my plan now helps me with consistency, because it's hard for me to be consistent if I'm rushing out in the middle of the day, if I'm trying to do work and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to eat, and if I can eat this from here, if I got to take this off of this so I won't break my dietary restrictions. It's hard to have consistency without planning. Like consistency is powerful because it sets you up into habits and it sets you up into really lifestyle changes. So if I do this for 21 days, if I do this for 3 months, it now has become part of my routine, right? So I like music, right? So here's the practical part of it. The other part of the practical part of it is, y'all ever heard like a dance routine, right? Or a gymnastics routine, or a routine. A routine is steps put together. So you're not gonna have a routine and you just like stunt one time. Like that's a step, right? But multiple steps create this routine. And when you do it consistently, you're now working. Like you now cook, what do you say? You cooking with some grease now, right? You're cooking with fire. Because I could take one step, but then I take 2 steps, and then I take 3 steps, and then I take 4 steps. And now I have a routine, and it makes it easier, right? There are benefits to routine to help you with consistency. It makes it easier for you to accomplish things. Not only that, it grows your confidence. If anybody's ever spoken, or if you do any type of like customer service where you got to call people, it's like the more you do it, it's not necessarily gets easier, but it comes part of your routine where it's like second nature, right? I can call somebody and I can, ask these questions. If they react like this, I know to say this, because not because you did it one time, but because you consistently did something. That's a routine. When you develop routines, you now are able to harness the power of consistency. Miss Tracy Mingalese said she messed up. She didn't pray as much as she needed for the fast, but she's striving to plan time and journaling. I've been consistent these 2 days. I'm getting there. Yeah, and the other part of that, again, is taking it one step at a time. So while we're developing routine, you take it one step at a time. Y'all seen the people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They counting the steps. Like one, you can't jump from 1 to 8. Right? You got to go 1, 2. So kick it, check out. Look, I did day 1. Good job. Did day 2. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to say, oh, I need 21 days. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this for 21 days. That's the overarching theme, right? But I'm taking it one day at a time. And if I know this is my schedule, right? The power of the consistency is I know this is my schedule. So if I know this day is going to be packed, my prayer time is going to have to be this time in the morning, or it's going to have to be here, right? Because the rest of my day can get chaotic. So thank you for saying that. And that's it. When you plan, you take back control. So that's the power. It's you taking back control. Okay, Thursdays are hectic for me. So I need to make sure I pack my fruits and my vegetables and my water bottles. I need to make sure I have something to put it in. I don't care if it's a plastic bag, right? I put my stuff in y'all know the little bags you get from like the Moshi or the little paper bags you get. That's what I pack my lunch in. I couldn't find my lunchbox. Don't worry about it. I have a bag. So even if you have to pivot, the consistency is keeping the routine. Like, I know I need to take this. If I got to take it in a blue Food Line bag, it's going to be prepared so that I can maintain my consistency, so that I won't get in my own way. So I won't try to figure it out on the way. I have to have a routine. My routine is I get up at 6 a.m. and I work out. My routine is I'm going to be drinking 2 bottles of water a day. My routine, and then I can grow from there. But the power is in developing the routine so that you can, I think sometimes we skip that step. In order to maintain our consistency, we have to have routines and plans in place. Like Miss Tracy said, plan the time, write it down. And that's how you build up to consistency. You're not consistent because you did something today. You started today. You are starting a routine. You are taking the first step. Your consistency is planning for what you can lead up to day 50 and day 100 and day, whatever, because of what you decide to do today, and you forecast it for later. So there may be some moments, and here's the other part. There may be some moments where you don't get it right and you do mess up. But that doesn't mean that you're not consistent. It just means that, okay, we hit a little patch, but we're still going to maintain our consistency. Yeah, I ate a cupcake today. I didn't pray as much today, but my routine tomorrow, I'm going to make sure that at 6 a.m., at 12 p.m., at 6 p.m., at 3 p.m., at 8 p.m., whatever that looks like for you, it is like literally, I don't have my calendar in here, but I have a calendar, and I literally write down, call this person, do this, do that. So the consistency may not even be in the action of what it is, but the consistency may be in the planning part. So for some people, your days may not look the same. Like, there may not be a routine day, but the routine part is you planning. That is the routine. Okay, Tuesdays are, I'm going to follow up on emails. Wednesdays, I'm going to be reaching out and returning phone calls. Thursdays are my day of rest. Friday is family day. Saturday is prep for whatever. Sunday is, so every day is different, but the consistency is that you're planning what it's going to look like, instead of just like, oh, because that's how we get stuck in the cycle. I didn't plan. So, Friday rolled around and so-and-so got to be here and this person got to be there. I don't even got no gas in the car. Right? You didn't plan. So we are consistent by planning. So don't let again, depending on your vocation, depending on your geographic region, I understand that people live different lifestyles and are in different life stages. However, don't let anybody make you think that every day should look the same. The consistency is not, okay, every day you got to eat a sweet potato and collard greens at 12 o'clock. The consistency is, I planned for what will be ahead. I planned for this. I planned for this to be a mommy daughter day on Saturday. And this is what it looks like. So no one would disrupt the consistency of that, because if somebody say, oh, I'm having this on Saturday, I'm sorry, I spent time with my daughter on this day, on this Saturday. Hey, we got this going on Thursday. You know what? That's my day to myself. So I ain't gonna be able to do that, right? You can't break my consistency of what I've planned out, right? Yes, Jazz. Hey, Jazz, and congrats on everything. She said consistency is key, and that's it. That was almost the name of this series. Consistency is key was almost the name, and I was like, I think that's a part of it. But the honestly, planning, and don't let anybody box you into what your plan should look like. The goal is just whatever you're doing it consistently. So if you're planning out your week, you're planning out your week consistently. If you're blocking out times of the day, you're staying consistent with that. And if something comes along that doesn't line up with what you should be doing, you're automatically able to say, oh, no. Right? From 10 to 12 is this time. I'm responding to emails. From 2 to 4 is when I make calls. From 5 to 7, I'm cooking dinner for my family. So if anything comes up between 5 and 7, you either have to catch me before 5 or after 7, because this is my family meal time. So we want to stay true to that so that we can break the cycle of, oh man, I ain't never home. Oh, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? We don't want our consistency to fall to the side because of outside forces, and we don't want to be stuck because of us breaking routine, because that's what it is. Often we reach a certain point and then something happens and we just like, well, I messed up, so no. This happened. But we're gonna pick right back up the next day or the next time or the next hour and move forward. That's it. Like, that's it. So that's honestly tonight. Like, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna continue this conversation. We have a guest coming in a couple weeks, and we're gonna talk about politics, and the Martin Luther King Day is coming up in a few weeks, or I should say a couple weeks at this point. Inauguration is coming up, so we really want to have a open conversation about religion or faith, politics. We really want to talk about that, so we have that coming up in a couple weeks. We also, again, on Sunday, we'll be back up and running with the Vent Nightcap. Excuse me. So for everyone, talked about like self-care and taking care of you and doing what you need to do for you. We give like very practical tips on what that looks like. In the same way, like tonight's open conversation, we want everybody to be a part of it. Those conversations are only 10 to 15 minutes because it really is a nightcap. We want to talk to you, and we want to give you, hey Zebo, hey Jay, we really want to give you practical ways to relax, to unwind, to decompress, because life be lifing. Like, no matter how good your life is or how much you may be striving to make it better, life be lifing, and some days are hard, and some days aren't even hard. It's just, you just need a space to woosah. So that's what the Vent Nightcap is. It's 10 to 15 minutes. We give very practical tools on how you can brain dump, how you can unwind, how you can really refresh yourself at the end of the night, and even taking micro rest throughout the day. These conversations on Tuesday nights are really community conversations on just improving our day-to-day life, shifting our mindset, and growing beyond where we are, no matter where you may find yourself in life. So this series, Unstuck and Unstoppable, really is centered around, hey, life happens, things happen. We often get stuck in these cycles, but we do have the power not to just be inspired and to be like feeling good, but we also have the power to be accountable and to break out of it in very practical ways. And we don't have to feel overwhelmed to do it. You can do it and take one step at a time. You can do it and not put a whole bunch of pressure on yourself. You can do it and not feel bad about it. And you can do it in community, so you're not alone. So that's tonight, Unstuck and Unstoppable. First part is just breaking free. So that's our mindset shift. That's our identifying what is stopping us, and then very practically looking at how do we move forward, right? And the moving forward is taking one tiny step a day, and those steps turn it into our own dance routine in life, right? Because in life the beat always goes on, so we can take a one step, two steps, and keep it moving, no matter if the music is high or low, if it's fast or slow, if it's a climax, or if it's something like I'm down in the dumps. We got to keep going. So you don't have to do it alone. But I thank y'all. Thank you, Miss Tracy Mingley, and Miss Tracy Ruffin. Thanks, Jazz, Quantasia, Donald, Z. I appreciate y'all for coming on. Annie, Jay, Carl, I hate to call out names because then you don't call somebody a name and it's not on purpose. Reby, I saw Reby up here. I appreciate y'all. Tonight was good. I always appreciate when we have community. Like, it really is. Like I said, you may see me on the screen, but this is all of us coming together and really letting each other know you are not alone. So in those moments where you feel like, man, it's me, or man, I get stuck in my own mind, or I get stuck in my own thoughts, or I'm afraid. We've all been there, or are there, or at some point we're going to get there. So know that you're not by yourself. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back for this chat, part 2, next week, Tuesday, the 14th at 9 p.m. Sunday, and I'll be posting so y'all see it. Sunday we'll be live with the nightcap at 8 p.m. from about 8 to 8:15. So bring your cup of tea, your water, your cherry juice, whatever you need, and let's kind of chat together. But we'll be back next week. I appreciate y'all. Hope you have a great night's rest, and I will see you next time.